Morning everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard, and I will still be knackered after yesterday. So, where are we? We're at a good point, I think, with Tango. I've just chucked some black paint on the exhaust. Let's go and have a quick look at that. So I'm being supervised as usual. Yeah, right, buddy. So the exhaust had a good coat, I suppose, of the Simonit's very high temperature engine paint stuff, exactly the same as I've used on the engine. The gun gum is nice and dry, and it has basically just disappeared into the fabric of it, so which is good. It's not in a particularly visible place anyway, but I didn't really want it seen. But it's a bodge fix, but frankly these things are actually quite expensive for what they are, and increasingly rare, which is why the costs are going up. And I don't think it'll suit the bikes. We're more polished and stuff like that anyway, so it's going to look a little bit industrial, which is fine. So yeah, I might go for another coat on that in an hour or so. Not that it needs to, an hour between coats and things. It's just I'm going to be busy doing other stuff. But I'll just keep chucking some on there. But actually, it's looking pretty good, I have to say. Right, you right, dog? You need a haircut, don't you? You can barely see. Right, I was going to start looking at that loom, I think. Okay, so another slight change of plan. Before I start hacking too much into the loom, I'm just having a think of how I do the under tray. So that's the original one that I've just, I've hacked a chunk out just to get it on. Now obviously all of this is gash and going to go, but that's kind of not the point at the moment. What I'm trying to do is, because it holds the battery box, which I do need, and it holds all the elements to drop the starter solenoid, that's what I was looking for, starter solenoid, etc, it all has a place. I'm just trying to work out where that place is. So obviously I now have a flat seat on it, so this is going to have to come down. I'd like to try and keep it as far as I can, but if I follow that flat line, it's taking me to their max. I am going to have to put some sort of under tray on that anyway, so that's fine. So it's about that lump, which is what I might take as the first cut, and just take it all the way across and follow that. It gives me a nice straight line to follow as well, and I might have to hack that back a bit as well. So I'm going to whip it back off, cut that line, see how I get on. Right, we're getting somewhere. Slow progress. I've hacked shitloads of it off, but what I now have is something that works. What I think I'm going to have to do is go for a flat plate across the whole piece. It then gives me, I think, just enough space to hide the ECU under there. And obviously I need these bolts here, that's what's securing it to the top. I can come further back, and it just gives me, I'm not going to be able to undo it one-handed, but the ECU will fit in there quite nicely. So yeah, success. I'm going to take this inside, give it a bit of a clean up because it's minging, have a cup of tea, and then come back, and in fact I'll unplug the ECU and show you how it might fit. Right, so supervised by the dog. That's the ECU. So that was in the original setup. In the original setup, that was all the way hanging out the back under the or behind the seat, actually further back than the seat. Now obviously I don't have that luxury here, so what I'm going to go for is that. Don't worry about it getting crap from the wheel and everything. I am going to fill in underneath it. Stay. No, it's going to fall off. Don't really want to bounce it around, so I'm going to get a flat plate across there, so it's going to be nicely tucked away, hidden away at the back. Right, let's get that tagged on for now while the dog supervises. Right then, so there we go, that's the ECU mounted. I've reused a couple of the clips that were on the back of the frame for the bodywork, I think. I might have to just hum those down a little bit. I've chucked a bit of cardboard in, literally chucked it in. Ubiquitous cereal wrapper there, just to, I think that's what I'm going to need, is that flat plate under there, and it was really just so I can identify how much space I've got there, i.e. plenty, before I start hitting the plane of the seat. I wonder if that's too far forward now. No, there's plenty there, and enough room for the plugs on top as well. Bangers. Right. Bangers. Right. I think it's probably time to see if I can get those pipes on. Exhaust pipes. Quite happy with that. Quite an elegant solution, I think. But we'll see. Only one way to find out, and that's what I wanted to do with this bike, was to cut shit apart, have a go, see if it works, etc. Brill. It certainly isn't a Meccano set of plug out, plug in, off you go. Got my daily visitor. Morning, Mr. Magpie. How's the wife and kids? The exhaust is nice and dry. I'm going for a different solution this time. Now, the problem with the top manifold pieces is they obviously you can't leave them supported the way they are, because they're not gonna, the exhaust won't go on. But you also don't want them flapping up and down against any fresh paint you've done. So what I'm trying this time round, which is a slight difference, and I've done it before, is kind of wedging them up. The way that I've done that this time is with hook and loop cable ties. So just put those round, put two round to pad it out, so hopefully it will stop these from flapping around while I try and install it and scratching the paint, which is routinely the problem if you paint your exhaust, is that these things just flap around and cause merry hell. You need them down a bit, because otherwise you're not going to get around the bolts, but you don't want them sliding around too much. Right, I've got the old seat underneath. In fact, I can't film this, it's going to be too awkward. I'll drop you back in once I've got it on. Right, and there we go, we're on. Always a bitch of a job. I've never found an easy way of doing that. One day I will. But we're on, and we're good. And it's nice and secure, it's not hung off anything bar those at the moment. Oh, looks quite good, I think. Nice and Project Blackouty. Right, I can't put off this loom anymore, I've got to try it. Right, so that's everything unplugged from the box. There's a few bodge wires around here, frankly. That's a bit of a mess, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but there is a connection into the main loom there, so I'm going to mark that so I know what I'm doing it again next time. So from the little clusterfuck lot and that, it's black to black, so it's probably an earth. Cool. Right, shitloads done. absolutely shitloads. So I've got the loom in. It's taking a fair amount of jiggery pokery, but I think I'm there. So it looms in. Actually, I can coil that quite nicely as is. I might get away with not having to cut that at all, which would be really handy, and the seat still fits nice and flat, which is cool. I'm happy at that end. I've done a bit of tidying down there, and I've chucked in the starter motor as well. I can't quite remember what plugs into what, but I'm sure I'll work all that shit out as I go. Yeah, we are getting there. Plumbed in the airbox, etc, etc. A slight concern now is the coolant, as to how I get to that bottle, but I'm sure I'll work that out. I might just do that now, actually. And I appear to have one random green plug that I can't fucking remember what it goes to, but I'm sure I'll work it out. It's fine. The blue is for the side stand switch, which I have binned completely. Let me see if I can sort out that water bottle before I knock it on my head for one session. But yeah, getting there. I've also put the chain in for a bit of a soak. I'm going to get a new one, but you know, we'll see how that goes. See if it's salvageable at all. Yeah, I am really intrigued as to what that goes to. I'm sure I'll work it out. Can't be, how complicated can it be? Right, so that's a coolant overflow on as well. Just look at the fucking carnage I create doing this. I'm going to pack up for this one. It's coming up to midday. I kicked the tits out of it yesterday. I don't want to chance my arm too much, but yeah, getting there, and I'm fucking loving it. Till it doesn't work, then it's going to piss me off. Cheers all.